Alright guys, welcome to our site number 2. This is JC Park near the corner of 28th Street and Kalamazoo. And as I'm showing you around, you might be thinking to yourself, Dave, why did you take us to this site? It's just so much less natural than the ecosystem preserve. And that would be a very interesting statement if you were to make such a statement, that this is less natural. We in North America anyway tend to think about things in terms of natural and not natural or unnatural. And we tend to lump our own selves and our behaviors as unnatural, which is a weird thing. I would argue in one respect that this is just as natural environment as the ecosystem reserve. It has been severely altered. This used to be a forest. There are some big trees over there that have remained. But this area used to be a forest like the ecosystem reserve, but it was cleared. It was significantly altered. And now it's a natural park. We have nature here, just like there's nature in the preserve. I hope the wind noise isn't getting in the way. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'll try to speak up nice and loud. But this is a park, and as I mentioned earlier, a preserve is dedicated to primarily serving the welfare of non-human species. A park is primarily set up to serve the welfare of human species. So I'm standing at some soccer fields here. Right? So people who developed this park weren't really thinking about deer or birds or butterflies. They were thinking about people, right? And they wanted a soccer field. There's ball fields over here. There's a basketball court. They just put in some I think that's sand volleyball courts, you know. So this is all about serving the needs of people. If there are some non-humans that benefit from an open atmosphere like this, that would be all right. But nobody is running this park, designing this park with the welfare of others besides human beings in mind. We still do have community ecology happening here, though. It's not just one species. There is Kentucky bluegrass, as you can see down here. All right. For sure. So there's two species, Homo sapiens and Poa pratensis. There are some trees here and there as well, right? And there's some birds that'll make their way in here. There's some weeds, and there's soil organisms. So sure, there's some other creatures, not just people, but. And this is back to maybe a point that you were thinking if you were thinking this is not a very natural habitat. The community ecology going on here is much simpler, much simpler than the community ecology going on in the ecosystem preserve. All right? We don't have near the biodiversity here because the focus has been primarily on one species. To benefit one species. And the only non-human species here that aren't humans are here to benefit humans. A little windbreak with some trees, maybe a little shade for the parents to sit under a tree when they're watching their kids play soccer, and nice level ground. There's been a lot of chemicals used in this park too to make the lawn as healthy and lush as possible and keep the weeds out. And so you don't have as nearly the biodiversity in the soil that you would have in the preserve either. So yeah, there's community ecology going on here, but it's a much simpler network. All right, much simpler network. In many ways, when you see a big expanse of lawn like this, it's kind of like a biological desert. All right, it's something like this. That's all sand. That does look like a desert. But this is not very different from that. If you're a butterfly, you look at a big area of lawn like this and you think, shoot, why would I waste my time there? There's nothing there that's going to help me. So lawn areas, especially when lots of chemicals are used, they really reduce the biodiversity. And when you have a reduced biodiversity, you have reduced interactions. Everything is much more simplified. Right? Now, truth be told, a lot of places, parks or preserves, are on a gradient between two extremes. Right? The back part of the preserve is reserved for only non-humans, right? And human activity there is restricted. So that would be one extreme. Maybe this is another extreme, this area right here, where basically nobody else is allowed in except Kentucky bluegrass and people. All right? And most places, like a state park, a national park, is going to be somewhere in between, right? Where needs of people are served, but at the same time preserving a lot of non-humans as well. And the next stop we're going to make is a residential yard. And I would say that most of the time yards have been designed to be like a park like this. And you think about a yard, you have a house, you have a garage, and most people think about their yard as, okay, this is my place, this is to benefit me. And that's the way most cities are set up, focused explicitly on Homo sapiens. But again, they don't have to be that way. Cities don't have to be that way. Individual yards don't have to be that way. We can live our lives in ways that invite back other elements of biodiversity by not using so many chemicals, using more native plants that will support native insects and birds, etc., etc. All right, I'm getting cold. I am so cold. It's an amazingly cold day today. And there's my car, and it's got a heater in it. So I'm gonna make my way quickly back to my car. And this is the second site. So I'm gonna end the video now, and you can pick it up for the third video at the third site. All right, see you guys.